So I made a tweet asking you guys, hey, would you guys be interested in going over some of the deck lists that never actually made it to the YCS? Like, I actually went over that, right? So let me see. Do you guys want to see the decks that never made it to the YCS? Show the goo that I was personally too afraid to play. Not even just afraid, but like, I just thought the deck wouldn't be good enough for a YCS. One such deck was actually the Spellbreaker deck. Don't ask me why. This is not the deck. For YCS Costa Rica, which was the first YCS of the Fire format season, I actually kept a lot of my deck lists saved. Oh yeah, we call this the Necros deck because I don't know if people test decks like this, but one of the ways to like test new formats is to just put in everything you would like in a deck. It's easier to throw cards into a deck than to take cards out. So why not just put everything that you would like in a deck? I think it's a solid approach. So we start with like every good card, like every card I wish I could play. And this is how it started. I want to play 3 Wish. I want to play Where Art Thou? I want to play Small World, 1 for 1, 3 Souls, Birch. I want to play the Fire King cards, but I also like playing the Pure Engine. It wasn't finished. It was still a work in progress, so it looks really suspect, guys. But as you like refine the deck, you start taking cards out. You're like, oh wait, the Fire King cards aren't that good. Let me take some of those out. Oh wait, I don't really need Small World. Oh wait, I don't really need Where Art Thou? Oh wait, Joel isn't really that good of a non-engine, right? And it's kind of like these constant discourse that you have with yourself, your team, your testing partners, whoever, that you slowly start to like refine deck lists. And that's just how it starts. I think Josh made a video recently where he talked about, let me see if I can find it, but let's go to Josh's video first.
I wanted to play a version of Snake Eyes that wasn't just hand trap turbo, you know, compare your opening hand with your opponent.
So the idea is, instead of playing hand traps, I guess my team is to blame for this, but we played a lot of hand traps. We played 17 at Vegas, 15 at Costa Rica, and we sided into like 21, 23, etc, etc, etc. And the thing is, I tried board breakers, but there's a big flaw to the breaker version that we kind of have to talk about. I genuinely think you can only beat people with board breakers if the opponent is clueless. What ends up happening, you're not going to be able to beat someone who like knows what they're doing because it's actually just too hard. Like the board they put up don't get broken by board breakers. I can show examples of this too. Like for instance, we'll watch Nesh played a regional this past weekend, which is awesome. It's good to see that Nesh play IRL Yu-Gi-Oh. But his opponent could open like Super Poly, Droplets, Talents, and the board he makes is unbreakable. If you don't hand trap Nesh, you lost the game. And if you don't hand trap the pure Snake Eye deck, you lose. The issue is board breakers trade 1 for 1 into opponent's board state. But the issue is there's like 6-7 interruptions on the board. That's number one. And then you don't have enough cards to beat their hand traps. Like you don't have enough cards to also push through their Nib, their Draw and Lockbird, their Infinite Impermanence, their Veilers, their Ash. Sure, the breakers will help you facilitate breaking the board, but how do you deal with the stuff that you can't see? How do you deal with the back row? How do you deal with their hand traps? That's the issue with breakers. It's because like the interruptions are super layered. And I'm talking about like hand traps contribute to layer interruptions, by the way, because there's stuff in the hand, right? Like you can't really see them. Like, and God forbid your opponent open Nibru. If your opponent opens Nibru, you can never win with board breakers. But so the point that I'm trying to make here is that the breakers just do not, it should not beat anyone who has hand traps in their main deck. And that's what I came to realize and why I stopped playing board breakers, because I feel like I can only beat noobs. But if I wanted to win the YCS, I'm going to be playing people who have been also testing, who's also been putting in the time and effort. So that's why I quickly scrapped the board breaker idea. But we can, I guess, go over it and maybe watch it, see the list that Josh played.
I think it teaches you a lot of different skill sets than the actual like hand trap version of the deck, you know, breaking.
I do agree with that. By playing no hand traps, you learn a very valuable skill, which is like playing into opponent's boards. We haven't had that in a while. For example, when I played Unchained at YCS Sao Paulo, learning how to play into your opponent's boards, like sequencing your hand to beat like your opponent's interruptions, it's like a very valuable skill. I think in 2019 there was a lot of that because there wasn't as many hand traps and you do play into your opponent's board a lot.
And this is one of the things that this deck can do better than the hand trap version. A lot of the non-engine cards that I was using,
I feel like this deck needs 3 Shark Cannon. Ding ding ding, Yuchi got it. I think it's actually mandatory to play triple Shark Cannon if you're playing the striker version. My list plays 3 Shark Cannon. I only play 1 Widow Anchor, and I actually have a replay where I actually can showcase this. Triple Shark Cannon was actually the goo in the striker version of this deck, because Shark Cannon is basically Monster Reborn. That's just basically how I looked at it. If you're gonna play board breakers, you want to play triple Shark Cannon, because not only is it an interruption and like clearing your opponent's board, but it allows you to basically play on your opponent's turn, play without opening engine. There was one game I remember testing that I opened all breakers, no way to play the game, but because I had Shark Cannon, I won, which is actually kind of crazy. Yeah, it's also good against Despia. That was also the logic. Look at my hand, because I tried this. This was 2 months ago. I think like part of being like a good Yu-Gi-Oh player is to be open-minded and basically try everything. I feel like a lot of people are quick to write off certain ideas, but I'm like usually the guy where I'm like, bro, if someone tells me something, I'll give it a shot, you know? If someone tells me like, yo, Runic Stun's the goo, I'll actually test Runic Stun and try it out. We can maybe watch this game. He's gonna do this combo really fast, get Kier Kieran, have Circle, has Droll. I think I beat him. His talents. Look at my hand. My hand is so demon. I'm like, yo, we gotta test this. I do not have a single engine card, guys. We're gonna try to make things work, okay? Main phase 1 Hornet Drone. He Prometheans it. That's an oh god yes for me. We rip the Droll, okay? We thrust for another engage. And now we're about to go crazy. Engage, get Shark Cannon. Draw a card. Activate another engage. Get another Shark Cannon. I'm saying draw another card. You see? That's why I was playing multiple Shark Cannons. Because now, like, I can go Shark Cannon, Chainlink 1, Shark Cannon, Chainlink 2, take his Witch, take his Ash, get Ash and then get Witch, and then just pop off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can also hit his Grunix. Like, I can do a lot. So I go Instant Fusion first. I summon Mud Dragon, and I call Fire. But yeah, so I went Shark Cannon, Chain Widow Anchor, get Witch, set original, change Kieran, pop that, circle, change Super Poly. Or no, I can't do it because I don't have Garua. They're not the same type. But it just like goes to show, like, that's why so like I guess the whole point of this topic is to say that I think if you're playing the striker version, you should be on 3 Shark Cannon. I actually think it's like really broken. Draw 2. Oh my god. This is so broken. Yes, in a pure striker deck, you should be on 3 Shark Cannon. Yeah, you see this? Like, this is so crazy. Azalea into Kagari add back engage. Like, this feels criminal. Oh yeah, so like another thing I played was Azalea so that you can convert Azalea into a Kagari. That's also another thing I played in the striker version, which I have to see if Josh played Azalea or not. But I think Azalea is really, really strong too. Yeah, so I actually cooked up the goo with this. I heated his Heat Soul and then drew another card. Like, that's so broken. Access code, pop, make Promethean, activate engage, get the 3rd Shark Cannon, draw another card, and then now I make Amber Whale so that my striker spells are live. If you play breakers, your board without backed up by hand traps is actually like really bad in my opinion. I know it sounds crazy to say this. It's actually not that good. Like, your opponent can actually push through that because the issue with breakers is also like, what if your opponent also plays breakers? Then like you'll never win. That was also like the paradox. It's like if you played the breaker deck and your opponent played breakers, they'll cook you so bad because you don't have a Droll, you don't got a Nib, you don't got no defensive, like your defensive cards don't beat their breakers. So that's kind of like the issue with like the other version of this dice. And yes, I know like the hand trap version is like, oh, you just play hand trap wars. The thing is, the majority of the room never took the right approach with hand traps. They wanted to play Fire King cards, so they could only fit 12 hand traps in, and then they would like play like 12 hand traps and 3 talents, or like they wouldn't commit to like the hand trap strategy of playing the most amount that they could play to like fully stop their opponent, because a lot of people were like convinced that talents could break a board or something like that. But in reality was you never actually broke anyone's board. But it works against people who didn't know or like played enough of the format. So like it wasn't a bad idea to play those cards. Thing is, you have to like really full send those approaches, and that's kind of like the takeaways that I learned from these formats. Like, for example, I feel like in 20, like Goki was like one of the most powerful decks back in the day, but no one really played Goki. But if Goki was like the best deck, I feel like people back then would also transition to like 18 hand traps in the main deck or something. As innovation starts waning, because the format in my opinion is kind of solved and everyone just plays like the hand trap version, it's like there's no edge. Let me kind of show you guys the deck that I never actually got to play, but it's not fully built, but maybe we can go into it. So I saved a bunch of deck lists. So I think it was pure Snake Eye Breaker. You guys will realize quickly is that you need breakers that work first and second. If you only play cards that work going second, like you're gonna get smoked. It's like that issue I was kind of talking about. So Cyclone can be a card using going first. Econ can be a card you going first. Droplets can be a card that you use going first. There's no 1-for-1 because you don't have enough monsters. 1-for-1 works better if you play the hand trap strategy. So there's no 1-for-1. This is without the Sky Striker stuff. I think I originally did have Striker stuff in. I only played one original. I didn't know about Where Art Thou at this moment in time. So Where Art Thou would have been in the deck, but it wasn't in the deck as a result. I don't know if you guys noticed this. The irony of the entire deck was the fact that I sided into hand traps because I thought that they would be better going first cards than breakers, and I thought they were better going second. So I'm literally like, dude, what am I doing? Like, why am I siding into a better into a better version of my deck? Like, it doesn't make sense. Oh, the reason why you were on Birch and why we're on Kurikara, because of the fact that because you don't have hand traps and your opponents are making full boards, you need as many pushes as possible, because like the one monster being Birch or Kurikara could be the difference between you winning or losing, aka OTKing your opponent, because you're letting your opponent build their full boards. So that was kind of like the thing with it. I didn't really get to fully flesh out this idea, but I quickly like just kind of like threw it in the garbage after I was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna play it. The reason why I think you had to play Jet too was because if you played breakers, I felt like your board was just not good enough without Jet. Your board was like at best like Appaloosa, IP Flamberge, I guess. It was like okay. It was good. It wasn't bad, but if your opponent had one talent and you didn't have like a hand traps, it gets very awkward. Like you actually could lose. And that's why it was also really hard to play the breakers, because you have to play Super Poly. If you play Super Poly, you have to play the fusion cards. But then if you do that, then you don't really have a lot of flexibility in your extra deck. It was just like, that's why like we just took this out, you know? But I kind of just wanted to just give my insight on like why the breaker deck was not played, you know? It's not like we didn't try it. We actually did. Ended up not being as good. Like even if the format develops to where it is now, like, because I feel like right now, if there was a YCS tomorrow, it's pretty easy to predict what decks will be presented. Not only what decks, but what deck lists people will use. I think that's a fair assumption, right? Because of how much information has been spread on the internet, it's pretty easy at this moment in time to figure out the meta. Not even the meta, but like what decks, the exact deck list that most people will play. Because right now, if you watch every Snake Eye profile, every Fire King profile, they all pretty much look the same now. I feel like it's been standardized, the approach at this moment. Even with that understanding of how standardized the deck lists are, I don't think you can get an edge playing like this breaker version or like playing like another version. Like that's why I kind of think that it's kind of toxic, because I feel like there's no edge left. Maybe there is like a 1-2% marginal advantages you can have, and don't get me wrong, those are important, but it's really difficult right now. But I guess that's just how it goes. Now that we're on this topic of board breakers, I actually wanted to watch this deck profile from Neshalo. Okay, Nesh made a tweet saying he played with real cards, which by the way is a shocker to me. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, my boy Neshalo holding cards is kind of funny. I couldn't believe it. He top 16, I think, one of the regionals in Verona, which is I think near his hometown, and he played Fire King Snake Eyes, and he did a combo that actually showcased why board breakers are booty cheeks. I feel like this is why like testing in groups are like so nice. The reason why Nesh I think came up with this combo was because like he was getting shitted on by breakers. So Nesh was like, yo, I'm tired of this shit. If you're gonna not hand trap me, I'm gonna do the most ignorant combo ever. Anyways, let's look at this. Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Nesh, okay? Because I feel like if I didn't think Pure Snake Eye was better, I actually think Nesh had like the best deck list for Fire King Snake Eye. Because Nesh put a lot of time, and I feel like he actually innovated a lot of the stuff in Fire King Snake Eye. Yeah, a lot of people didn't play the field spell in Fire King. I think Nesh was one of the first people that told me about it. Take notes on this combo, because this is actually the forbidden jutsu. It's like actually insane into the board breaker approach, because you cannot win with board breakers. Like your opponent Jesus has to come down and give him his hand, because you cannot win, bro. This combo takes a while. You summon back Arvada, pop the whale effect, bring back IP. That's through evenly. That's actually insane. Bro, the average Fire King bozo that I'm siding evenly into, they literally have nothing left. No, but that's actually through evenly. Yeah, so this is why, by the way, breakers are not that good. And talents doesn't work too into his board. It's mad hard to crack this board. I actually thought his deck was really good if you expect a lot of players to be playing board breakers, but I figured most people would be on hand traps. So anyways, hopefully that gives you some insight onto why I don't think board breakers are the way to go. Oh, by the way, I do think branded is the best non-fire deck right now. Not even close. That's what I've been building and playing. Better than voices? Yeah, better than voices. Bro, voices are literally adding in branded cards to make their deck better. That's how bad voices is. Like it's literally like they're literally adding in branded fusion to make their deck better. Bro, do you lose to voices cards or do you lose to branded fusion resolving? Come on. I've been playing this deck and it's been so much fun. I'm on like I think like 55 cards or something like that right now, but I actually really like this deck. I've been practicing this deck. Oh, by the way, secret Supreme Pro Matt dropping later, and I get to play like OG Poly. Ooh, this Poly has gone me far in life. I'll show you guys my list. I wouldn't recommend it. I'll just show you the draft that I've been working with. Still practicing the deck. I do think the technical play of the deck is very difficult, and I'm a person that needs to practice. Can't just pick this deck up. So I've been trying to get better with it. I played 3 Aluber, obviously, 3 Albaz, played 3 Cartasia. One's in like a random sleeve because I bought it at locals. Like I borrowed one, and then after locals ended, I bought it. I played 2 Quam. You probably get away with one, but I feel like I like summoning one and then tagging out into another one off the Tiniclad or something. So I played 3 Shadow Dragon. It's like the best upstarts. Actually, I know why there's a glare, by the way. Let me switch my playmats. Actually, you know what, guys? Give me a sec. 3 at Gym Chain, 2 Tragedy at Libidum, a Gimmick Puppet, 1 Mercurier, Serenir, Lubellion. I want to play more Bistos in the main deck, by the way. I actually think it'll be really good. Yeah, so I'll play this, and then 3 Shadow Dragon, like I said, 2 Quem, 3 Cartasia. One's in a weird ass sleeve because I bought one last minute, 3 Albaz, and then 3 Aluber. It's like, I think the deck's like 55 cards or something, but like I said, I typically build decks by like playing as many cards as possible and then cutting down whatever is not necessary. But so I kind of just, like I said, this is a draft. I'm not recommending you guys play this, but this is like the draft that I've been playing. It's Brand Fusion, beautiful. 3 opening, 2 red. I actually really like this card. I actually wish maybe I played 3 even, to be honest. This card is really good. I actually love Brandon Red. I would play 1 high spirit to add. 1 loss. I thought about playing 3 loss as well because I feel like 3 loss beats every hand trap except Ash Blossom. But I also like thought about trying to play 3 loss. I think loss is like a balanced card. 3 Allure. I don't know where my other English one went, guys, so I have a random Italian one. Fascino. But yeah, anyways, Allure Darkness, Ghost Arc Burial. How loss works? Basically, if you perform a fusion summon, your opponent cannot respond on resolution. On the resolution of a fusion summon, let's say you go Branded Loss and you go Polymerization into like Guardian Chimera, I can activate effective Guardian Chimera and your opponent cannot respond to it. Your opponent also cannot negate the activations of fusion summoning, but they can negate the effect. So they can Ash Branded Fusion, but they can't activate Baron to negate. So that's why they have to Baron Loss every time. 3 fusion deployment, teleport. But yeah, the fusion summon has to be Chilling 1 though. That's a good point you brought up. 3 thrusts, 3 talons, 3 patchwork, 2 poly, 1 fusion demon, 1 retribution. This is what I've been playing. I actually think this is like the best fire deck, and I want to get good with this deck because maybe this deck doesn't get hit on the ban list, and so like why not be good with it? I returned another Grand Gunal, I think, but Albion, Lubellion. I played 2 Albion, Lubellion, Titiniclad, Rinbrum, Sepelia. I side the shit all package, so I play App Cologne, Guardian Chimera, Mirror Jade, another Mirror Jade. This one has no name, which is kind of sick, no? Sanctifier, 2 Grand Gunal. I have another one in my thing, but it should be 2, and then 1 Quirtless, and then I play. What? I actually bought them. I bought them because I borrowed it. I ended up buying it at locals. So I bought another Grand Gunal and I bought Magnum. Yeah, so these were the last 2 cards in the extra deck. No Masquerade, I think, because I feel like I don't really go into time. I feel like that card is not that good. I feel like it's only good for time. But yeah, I play like a lot of Bestials. I saw like Magma, Double Jewish Serenir. They're like engine and non-engine. I actually would play more of these. I actually want to main a lot of Bestials. I would main like 9 Bestials, I think. Maybe 12. Wait, can I even play 12? I think these cards are really broken. I saw Super Poly, so I had these in. And then I saw the shit all stuff. And I saw 1 Banishment for the mirror match. Like I said, this is a draft. I'm not saying this is like the list to play. I just was trying it out. I actually, like I said, I think this is like the best non-fire deck, so I want to practice it. I think this can break full fireboards.